Don't be scared. I'm the Valentine Man.
Have you ever encountered this girl?
You might not ever think of it, but Instagram is an app that's a goldmine for uniquely terrifying horror content. Whether it's analog horror, which is probably why you clicked on the video, or whether you're looking for just really disturbing entity and creature designs, the Instagram app actually has a plethora of all of it. And oftentimes, the deeper you scroll down into the algorithm and the more you fry your dopamine receptors, the more unhinged and uncanny and inhuman these horror series become. So today in this video, I want to discuss some of these terrifying creations from Instagram. I want to talk about their lore, their creature designs, their entities, and their overall series, and all the wonderful cognito hazards that includes. And honestly, I just want to see how disturbing this is going to get. Everybody watching this knows Instagram Reels can be kind of unhinged, so hopefully that translates to analog horror. But as always, I hope you stick around for the video, sit back and relax, and let's jump headfirst down the rabbit hole of the most bizarre and terrifying analog horror scary Instagram pages that I can find, shall we? On our first stop of this scrolling into Instagram's depths, we have the account titled Evilica, or Evilica. This account creates and produces extremely strange, uncanny, and honestly liminal analog horror videos that feature a variety of unsettling visuals and storylines, and of course, entities. Usually each reel is shot and created in a kind of point-and-click style format, which I personally am a huge fan of. Not that you asked, but I am. The account began posting over a few years ago, and I must confess that I have seen several of her videos pop up in my feed late at night, and they're not the type that you want to watch right before bed. Many of these videos contain some sort of creature as the antagonist for their story. For example, the video titled The Soup shows the account owner and herself making a specifically vegetarian soup. And at first, her options in the video, in this point-and-click style, are to dice and to cut peppers and onions and add things to the soup, until she looks over and she sees whatever this thing is standing there watching her cook. Now, she attempts to choose the path of feeding the entity food to try to get it to disappear, but after she feeds it a bell pepper, it doesn't work. And it actually leads to the creature chopping her up and putting her into the soup instead, leaving the video saying it's now a non-vegetarian soup, which that's really disturbing. I can't even lie. Videos similar to this are common to see as you scroll deeper onto her page, and honestly, the thing I enjoy most, besides the uncanniness and the point-and-click vibe with videos, is how uniquely horrifying the characters are. These videos use elements that you see in YouTube analog horror series, like the full-on movie versions, but she condenses them down into short form in ways that are nostalgic and disturbing and liminal and uncanny, and it just really packs a punch in those short 30 seconds or so. Several of the creatures and the entities in these videos are extremely unnatural and gross to look at, to be honest. They give me the uncanny feeling. They don't really have any names or descriptions, but it's pretty easy to spot them based on how they look. For instance, there's a commonly recurring character that has a triangle head and a large mouth with teeth. There's this shadowy humanoid with golden colored eyeballs. There's also this weird grandma, uncanny looking thing, as well as a crescent moon head shaped humanoid, and many other what I'll call like dreamcore or liminal horror style entities, some of which look like Sesame Street-esque characters. And somehow the account takes these characters that you've either seen before, like the Sesame Street ones or the ones that she's created, and they've genuinely made them authentic horror. The way they move is glitchy and jerky and unnatural, and honestly, I think it's pretty terrifying. Since I am a YouTuber and everybody loves YouTubers' opinions on everything, I think that oftentimes when characters like these are included in horror on the internet, it comes across as cliche, or dare I say cringe. Yet somehow in these videos on this account, they're very authentically disturbing in a fresh, normal way. They're not overused, it's not like the 3 a.m. style horror, it's genuine. Now, I do have a slight bias towards the content on this account because they are kind of directed into liminal space vibes and dreamcore and backrooms, which is the things I like, obviously. But if I see horrific things like this entity chopping up the account owner and putting her in soup, it's gonna get the brutally stamp of approval, and I'm probably gonna enjoy it. Moving along, and as we scroll deeper into the hellscape that is the Instagram Reels algorithm, the next account I found and would like to discuss is titled _happiness every day I'm happy, which sounds like a person who's not actually happy. The videos in this account focus on themes of trauma, cognitohazards, and some forms of nostalgia, but not really. But there's some sort of mysterious, disembodied, shadowy entity that is kind of the main character of the account. If you scan the Reels page of this specific Instagram account, it seems that it has inconspicuous videos uploaded. You kind of just see the thumbnails and they look normal. But if you click on them, you'll notice that midway through the videos, they're interrupted by this creature that controls the account, and oftentimes this entity is talking to you, the viewer, as if you're being derealized or if you're not existing anymore. They're kind of just like taking away your humanity in a way. I guess the way you would describe the video style is a sort of hijack cognitohazard thing, because every video is hijacked midway through and all these strange visuals pop up and this vague, mysterious text and this weird speechy voice coming from the darkness. It's all very scary. But the thing I love the most about coming upon videos like this, and specifically this account, is that the entity that's in these videos, whatever it is, whatever the creator wants it to be, it seems to be feasting on the doom scrolling nature of the viewer and kind of the negligence of those people that just scroll mindlessly on their phones at night. Because realistically, everybody's doom scrolled before, and they do it probably often, but how much of that doom scrolling do you actually remember? And that's what these videos are here to highlight. They really show how inattentive you are because you're just mindlessly numbing yourself with dopamine. But when these things break through, they kind of like make you feel uncanny and strange and like you're being very inattentive and how you're not really living, you're just existing. The entity itself behind the camera can never actually be seen, but in some of the videos you can kind of make out a humanoid shadow with eye shine. But watching these reels, it makes you feel like you scrolled a little too far and you're seeing something that you were not meant to see, especially with the imagery and the editing style. Just something about them fills me personally with dread. I don't like scrolling, I try not to, and especially when I see stuff like this, when they remind me how scary scrolling is. I mean, I guess that means the creator of the account's doing their job. These videos make my eyeballs feel all staticky and they're undeniably disturbing, especially if you actually listen to what they're saying, but I think someone needs to check on the account owner. I don't think they're doing too well. Nevertheless, this was another terrifying kind of analog horror series that I found while scrolling, and let's keep going. Let's see what we can find next. Scrolling even deeper down this rabbit hole of terrifying Instagram accounts is the Dark Mind Arts account. And the video that specifically caught my attention, and the one that was shown in my actual FYP or whatever, was uploaded over 180 weeks ago, and it's named The Staring Girl. Pretty much it's kind of just an analog horror series, and it follows that "have you ever seen this guy in your dreams" format. But instead of it being a guy, it's this uncanny looking woman entity thing that haunts around apartment complexes and stares at people while they sleep. But something about her face specifically is extremely unnatural to me, and I could probably insert that meme of, you know, analog horror fans when they see a slightly disturbing face, but that's true. I mean, it's literally very unnatural to see this, and I mean, beyond the fact that it's not actually a real face, but something about this design, it's like Picasso almost, with its exaggerated features, and just the idea that this series and this entire analog horror 20-second clip is just this woman that stares at you. And I just scrolled through and I saw it and I was like, wow, that's kind of weird. And for some reason I put it on the script, so there you go. But the entire rest of the Dark Mind Arts account kind of creates and illustrates creature designs in a similar way to the infamous Trevor Henderson. You've probably seen them. If you haven't seen any of Trevor Henderson entity explanations, I have made several on the channel. You can watch those later if you care. You don't have to, I'm not gonna make you. But just taking a small scroll through the Dark Mind Arts page, you can see multiple creatures and entities and everything that's been created. They're all very uncanny, they're all very unnatural, and of course I'm a sucker for strange, weird entities. It's my thing. And I also love a good analog horror series put on Instagram. Now, I was gonna end the video there, but I was continuing to scroll as one does when they're addicted to dopamine that Instagram gives you, and I went further and further down to another recommended account, and this video from Elite Horrors popped up right on my algorithm at like 4 a.m. when I was scripting this, and it's the Valentine Man video. Just watch this. So of course, this is your typical analog horror video, which I've said about a million times. Take a shot every time I say it, but something about the voice that this entity has, genuinely in my like earbuds, made the neck on my hair stand up. I can't even talk. Make the hair on my neck stand up. It sounded so strange, like no other voice that I've ever heard. It was very weird to see, and I just had to make you see it if I had to. But I do think it's safe to say that after making this video, and specifically searching for disturbing entities and horror content on my algorithm, it's kind of cooked, because it's never been this bad before. I'm kind of starting to regret doing it, but hopefully the content was worth it. I mean, there's always a chance this video flops, but I did it for the love of the game. I love watching scary things, and I love showing scary accounts off. But the account Elite Horrors is also home to many other unnatural creatures and creations, just like the Valentine Man video, but even worse. There's distorted humanoids, there's ungainly monsters, there's cognito-hazard videos, and everything else that you might expect from an account that created the Valentine Man. Also, a side note, after I was on that account, I scrolled down even further on my Reels page, and I actually knew that my brain was cooked because a video from the Dr. Nowhere series popped up, and that felt like safe and normal to me because I made a video about it already, but it's still terrifying to see. But that's how you know how distorted my algorithm is now from this video. Whatever the case is, the accounts I've shown you today are just a few examples of the genuine horror content that you might be able to find over on Instagram. When you think of Instagram, you don't really think of, internet horror, analog horror, whatever the case, but there are tons of good accounts that make really authentic videos like the ones I've talked about very briefly today. There's plenty more accounts that do this, and if you want a part 2 to the video where I go to even more of them, let me know. I'd be interested in doing that. But thank you for watching all the way to the end. I really appreciate it. This is a different style video than I normally do, so hopefully you actually enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like. I don't like asking for likes, guys, but YouTube keeps telling me to ask for them, so I have to. But I had a blast making this and kind of scrolling my Instagram FYP and finding all this cursed stuff. Hopefully you liked it too. All that said, check the links in the description for my socials, my other channels, and everything else. And with all that out of the way, I will see you in the next video, wherever that comes out. Hopefully your FYP is not as screwed up as mine is, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.